Hello, my name is Danny. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be my Jane Austen July TBR. Right, so for those of you who don't know what Jane Austen July is hosted every year by Katie over at Books and Things, Claudia from Spencer's Library and Marissa at Blatantly Bookish. And every year they have a host of challenges that you can join in with, but the only main one is to read one of Jane Austen's main 6 novels. If you do that, you're sorted. But I am going to try and complete most of the prompts this year. If I look down, I've got them all on my phone from the Discord, so there is a Discord. I'm sure it will be linked in the hosts' channels that you could join the Discord and everybody discusses all of the challenges on there. There's a watch along as well, and yeah, it's really good fun. So I will just go ahead and talk about what the different challenges are for this year. So number 1 is read one of Jane Austen's main 6 novels. So despite the fact that I am a massive Jane Austen fan, I feel a bit of a fraud because I have not read all of her novels. So this is what I'm going to try and rectify this year and finally finish the final 2 books that I have not read. I have watched every single adaptation basically of Jane Austen's, but I have not read all of the books, so I do know what they are about, but yeah, I've not read them all, so this is going to be rectified this year. So I've actually started already. The first one is Northanger Abbey. This is about a girl called Catherine Morland, and it's become what is the word? Like a companion, travelling along with this married couple down to Bath. This is what I have read already. She's in Bath and she meets somebody called Mr. Tilney, but this is like one of Austen's like gothic novels. I know when I was watching the TV series, the one with Felicity Jones, that there's a lot of other books that are mentioned, gothic books, things. It's really atmospheric, and I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy reading this book finally. So that is my first one, and then I'm going to be joining in with the group read this year, which happens to be one that I have not read, and that is Mansfield Park. So this follows Fanny Price, who is she poor? Like, she's not very well off, and she goes to live with her well-off relatives and basically just discusses basically just you follow her and what happens when she goes and lives with these wealthy relatives. I have only seen the Billy Piper version of this. It was okay, but if anyone else has recommendations of a good adaptation of Mansfield Park, please let me know, because I feel like I only know the Billy Piper version, but yeah. And then the next one is read something by Jane Austen that is not one of her main 6 novels. So I am going to read Lady Susan. So Lady Susan is a bunch of letters, and I have discovered that I really enjoy a book that is in letter form, because I recently read The Correspondent by, I can't even remember who it's by, it's gone out of my mind, but it won the Women's Prize for Fiction, and it was so good, so engaging, because it was set in letters. I'm going to see if I can find an audiobook for it. I'm probably going to audiobook both of these books as well, and follow along. I really like immersive reading, so that is the plan. But yeah, Lady Susan is another one that I have not read. I do have here, this big book here is a collection of all of Jane Austen's novels, and it does have Lady Susan in there. And yeah, I think I will follow along with that. Maybe see if I can find it on my Kindle, but I definitely want to find the audiobook for that. Then next one is read a non-fiction work about Jane Austen or her time. So I have chosen Eavesdropping on Jane Austen's England by Roy and Leslie Adkins. I also have, but I have moved in for about 3 months now and I still haven't unpacked all my books, but I also have Lucy Worsley's Jane Austen at Home, which I think might be higher priority than this, but this just basically looks at England during Jane Austen's time and what it was like back then. It has many different chapters, like this one's toddler to teenager, what it would have been like to be a toddler to a teenager in Jane Austen's time, which I find fascinating, those kind of books. So I am looking forward to giving this a go. I will also see if I can find the audiobook for this as well, because I feel like it's quite a hefty book. 400, well, it's actually 300 and odd pages, because a lot of it is actually references at the back, but the writing is not the biggest, so yeah, we'll see how we get on with that. Then the next one is read a retelling of a Jane Austen book or a work of historical fiction set in Jane Austen's time. So I have finally, I don't know how many times I've had this book on my TBR, but finally I want to get to The Other Bennet Sister by Janice Hadlow. And this follows Mary Bennet. Now, I love Pride and Prejudice, one of the all-time greats, but you don't really hear much about Mary Bennet, and I think having a book dedicated to her will be really interesting to read because she was quite quiet. She seemed to be like the forgotten sister, so having a whole book on Mary Bennet, I'm looking forward to reading. I mean, it is an absolute tome of a book. But I'm going to see if I can get an audiobook of this and just listen to it when I can. Then the next one is read a book by a contemporary of Jane Austen, i.e. published between 1775 and 1817. So I have decided to see if I can read Cecilia by Frances Burney. Now, the reason I've chosen this is because Jane Austen loved Frances Burney and she made quite a few references to her books in a few of her novels. So in Northanger Abbey, which I'm currently reading, Catherine Morland is actually reading one of her books. Then, and they say that they think that Pride and Prejudice is, the title of Pride and Prejudice was based on a quote from Cecilia as well. And then in Persuasion, she also mentions a character from one of Frances Burney's books. So I think it'd be quite in keeping with the theme to read a contemporary that Jane Austen herself was a fan of. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to read. And it sounds like it's quite funny. It's about a woman who has to, she has a fortune, but she can only get this fortune if the husband will take her last name. And obviously back then that would be quite a big thing for someone to be willing to take a female's last name. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a read of that. Then the next one is watch a direct screen adaptation of a Jane Austen book. So I think I will rewatch the Emma, the 2020 version, the film version where Bill Nighy is the dad. It is one of my ultimate favourites. I actually cackled so much through that film. I absolutely loved it. Like, I feel like Anna Taylor-Joy, the character that the actor that played Emma, she got her on point, and I think Bill Nighy as her dad was on point as well. So the year that Emma was the group read, that was the year that I watched it as well. I'd already watched it, but I rewatched it again. So when I was reading it, I had Bill Nighy's face in my head as the dad, and I was literally laughing out loud. Yeah, so that is probably what I'll watch because it is an all-time favourite for me. And then the last one is watch something with a connection to Jane Austen that is not a direct adaptation. And for this, I will be watching the watch along, which is Behind Closed Doors, Lucy Worsley documentary, which is on iPlayer, which is handy because I have iPlayer. It's also on YouTube as well if you want to watch it on YouTube. But yeah, I am very much looking forward to that because I love a documentary, particularly love a historical documentary and a documentary on Jane Austen. Even better. So yeah, those are what the books I'm going to be reading, what I'm going to be watching. I really want to do like a self-care thing in July as well. So I want to, this is for the movie night. I want to have a movie night, have a shower, because I don't have a bath. If I had a bath, I'd have a bath, but I only have a shower. But like get nice products, get myself in pyjamas if it's not like ridiculously hot. Sit down, find a really nice cup of tea. I might even order myself like a bird and blend treat and sit and have some snacks, drink a cup of tea and watch Emma. That is what I want to do one of the days as a little treat and keep it Jane Austen themed as well. So why not? But yeah, thank you so much if you've got to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Leave me, if you want to leave me an emoji, if you don't know what to say, just leave me a stack of books because I'm hoping to read a fair stack of books. Let's get these. So these are the ones I am hoping to read, plus the audio, not the audio, yeah, audio books and also the Kindle versions. But I am hoping that I will be able to do this and my mood will allow me because I am going through the world's worst reading slump. Again, my reading's just tailed off, so let's hope that this helps. But thank you so much for watching and I will catch you in my next video. Bye bye.